on today on Good Morning Maine, arrest records confirm that former gubernatorial candidate Elliot Cutler was arrested yet again. We'll have the story coming up.
Plus, ranked choice voting tabulation will begin this afternoon. We'll hear from a political expert ahead.
And thanks to the Bucksport community, the waterfront marina is up and running. We'll have that story as well.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. We're finally almost through the work week.
We are. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. We'll have all the day's news coming up. But first, to check out that forecast, the weekend is here. And it was earlier this week, it was looking like Saturday was going to start off rainy.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's looking pretty nice.
It is. Yeah. We'll have some sunshine.
Yeah. We have a threat of thunderstorms later on today, but then by tomorrow morning, all of our dreams are going to come true.
Yeah, it'll be cleared out.
People dreaming of summer weather anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Hey, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. On this Friday, we have a dense fog advisory that will be expiring this morning. We also have a heat advisory in the southwestern parts of the state. It will begin rather warm in those areas until later on this evening. Meanwhile, as we do push forward, there's where that fog is taking place. Definitely making visibility rather tough this morning, down to around half a mile, and even rather low in parts of Washington County as well. Other areas seeing a little bit of fog too, but overall not looking as bad. Meanwhile, as we do push forward this morning and see a little bit of rain shower action showing up on a radar and satellite, we are going to watch for a few showers and a rumble of thunder coming up throughout the daytime period today, becoming a little more widespread overnight tonight, and then we'll start to see things back off later on. So futurecast moving forward, a few showers and thunderstorms today, becoming more widespread later on this evening. Notice we'll start to see things back off as we head towards your Saturday. Notice the wind not looking too bad. We'll have some gusts up to 20 miles per hour today. And later on tonight, we'll start to see the winds back off, except for the northwestern parts of the state. Now, your hourly forecast as we do push forward, we'll have clouds, opportunities for showers and thunderstorms as temperatures reach for the 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
Sounds great. Thank you, Devin. A former gubernatorial candidate, Elliot Cutler, is back behind bars this morning. He was arrested Thursday for a 6th probation violation. The district attorney's office confirmed Cutler has been taken into custody and is being held at the Penobscot County Jail. He is convicted of having sexually explicit images of children and has been accused of violating his probation numerous times. His lawyer, Walter McKee, tells us Cutler was arrested again for failing to sign a probation treatment plan document that had internet restrictions. His attorney says that was inconsistent with what the court had ordered recently, and he plans to fight it in court. It was just last month that Cutler was released on $10,000 bail, and during a hearing on June 1st, he was also allowed to have limited internet access.
Well, a Bangor man charged in connection with the 2024 death of his 10-year-old son has pleaded guilty to murder. This comes just days ahead of his anticipated trial. Our Grace Blanchard with the details.
Bangor father Joshua Smith has pleaded guilty to murdering his 10-year-old son, Braxton Smith, changing his plea just days before his trial was set to begin.
Do you understand the charge, sir?
Yes.
And how would you like to plead? Guilty plea is entered.
The 35-year-old originally pleaded not guilty in July 2024. Braxton Smith died in February 2024 after suffering months of abuse and neglect, according to court records. At a hearing on Tuesday, Smith asked to change his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. But Thursday morning in Penobscot County Court, the defendant pleaded guilty to depraved indifference murder. Smith is now the second family member charged in Braxton's death to enter a guilty plea. Jem Bean, Braxton's mother, previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Joshua Smith's mother and Braxton's grandmother, Misty LaTourette, is also charged with murder in connection to the child's death. She previously pleaded not guilty and requested a bench trial.
Jen Bean would testify that they made Braxton sleep in the bathroom with no more than a blanket, his ankles zip tied to a tote, and his hands zip tied behind his back.
According to Assistant Attorney General Leanne Robin, the abuse went unnoticed because Braxton was homeschooled by his father and grandmother. When he died in the hospital on February 18th, he was only 48 pounds and was bruised, emaciated, and burned. The judge accepted Smith's plea. The maximum possible sentence is life in prison. The state and Smith's defense attorneys did not wish to comment. While no sentencing date has been set, Smith is expected to learn his sentence towards the end of September. The trial of Misty LaTourette will begin next week. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
State fire marshals are investigating the cause of a fire in Indian Township. It was around 8 p.m. on June 9th. The Indian Township Fire Department responded to a structure fire at 19 Wolf Drive. A spokesperson from the fire marshal's office says when crews arrived, they found an active fire in the living room, which had spread to the kitchen area. No one was there at the time and no injuries are reported. A spokesperson says that investigators were on the scene for most of Wednesday, and they determined that the fire started in the living room near a couch, but the exact cause could not be determined. The investigation is ongoing.
Meanwhile, Maine's primary election is moving to the next stage, which means it's the beginning of campaigning for independent gubernatorial candidate Rick Bennett. He kicks off his Let's Get to Work tour at Gagan's Pub last night for a meet and greet with voters. Bennett says he's running to unify both major political parties, and a more affordable Maine is top of mind for him. With ranked choice tabulation still pending, it is unclear who Bennett will be running against in November. He says he hopes to encourage voters to look beyond partisan politics when they get to the polls.
And I know I'm running as an independent because I want to govern as an independent, and that means being inclusive and collaborative and communicative. All those words that are not, you don't hear much in politics these days, but we need to bring that back. We're going to fix our broken politics, and that's the goal of my campaign, the goal of my governorship.
Well, Bennett will be holding more meet and greet opportunities all across the state.
Well, Maine's 2026 primary ballots are now surrounded by armed police and ready for a ranked choice recount. Police wheeled locked metal boxes filled with ballots from all around the state into the Public Safety Building in Augusta. By Maine law, only police can handle ballots for transport. The ranked choice tabulation process will get started today, and the Secretary of State's office says people can watch the whole process live online by visiting their YouTube channel.
You can see how boring it really is, but what they'll see is that people are uploading data from the memory sticks to hardened machines that are never connected to the internet as well, and that we're hand counting paper ballots.
That ranked runoff starts at 1 p.m. this afternoon, but the process will take several days, and the state hopes to have it all wrapped up by June 19th. The races for governor on the Democratic and Republican side will both be ranked, as well as the Democratic primary for Maine's 2nd Congressional District. No candidate in any of those races won more than 50% on Election Day.
And as we've stated, ranked choice voting tabulation starts this afternoon. Our Doug Banks spoke with a political expert to learn more about how the process could change the current primary election standings.
The Secretary of State's office announced on Wednesday that several major primary races in Maine will be decided by ranked choice voting tabulation after no candidate secured 50% of first-place votes. Those races include the Democratic and Republican gubernatorial races and the Democratic 2nd Congressional District race.
This election will be really interesting in terms of ranked choice voting because we did have 3 candidates in the governor's race encourage their supporters to rank some of their opponents, second and third. Troy Jackson, Shannon Bellows, and Hannah Pingree. And where we'll really be able to test that and see if voters listen to their advice is once those tabulations happen.
As of Thursday evening, Senator Joel Baldacci leads the Democratic CD2 race with over 2,000 votes.
Confident that we're going to win in the end. We ran very strong statewide. Almost every single town in the 2nd District I came in either first or second, so we had a statewide reach that some of the others didn't, so I'm optimistic about the process.
Glover explained with us why candidates across their respective races and ranked in their respective places remain confident leading up to the tabulation process.
When those redistributions happen, the rankings of the candidates and their percentage of the vote share can change pretty dramatically. So weirdly enough, whoever's in last place and whoever their voters voted for the second choice can dramatically upend where the rankings are.
The ranked choice tabulation process begins Friday at 1 p.m. The Secretary of State's office says the process is open to the public and will be live streamed on their YouTube page. They also expect it to be completed prior to the Juneteenth holiday. Doug Banks reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, residents of Jay and Wilton voted no to the police department merger. We'll learn more on that coming up.
But first, another look at that forecast. Today will be a cloudy day with a chance of thunderstorms later on. High temperatures around 82 degrees. More unsettled weather tonight with lows dropping down to around 60. Tomorrow, beautiful day on the way for Saturday. Mostly sunny skies with highs near 85. We'll be right back.
Are you experiencing foot pain? Comfort Shoes & More has a team of experts trained in pet orthotics to help you find relief. They offer tailored fittings, shoe modifications, customized orthotics, and much more for the ordinary or for the hard-to-fit foot, with fashionable and functional footwear from today's top brands: Hoka, Brooks, Keen, Teva, Taos, Ufus, and Birkenstocks. From running to walking, casual or dress, they have it all. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
I am back. I'm here to help. I don't know what to do. Have you lost your passion?
This has been my life.
We're going to start again, and we're going to rebuild this thing.
We've got each other's back.
You can cook, girl.
That means a lot coming from you.
We're cooking with love.
People in Jay and Wilton voted overwhelmingly in favor of keeping their individual police departments. 62% of voters in Jay and 58% of voters in Wilton want the departments left as is, despite the constant struggle to keep them fully staffed. Brad Rogers reports.
I think it's just a good read on what the town prioritizes and where they want to go.
Jay Police Chief Joe Sage says despite the majority vote to keep things as is, some Jay and Wilton voters supported merging the police departments in some fashion, and some thought the town should contract with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for coverage. Because Tuesday's vote was non-binding, those options can still be considered.
It still leaves us open for discussion. We can continue to work on, maybe exploring other options or even circling back and maybe having some more discussions with the community later on down the road.
And the whole purpose of looking at this was to find an economic balance between Jay and Wilton and to be able to get the amount of coverage that we were lacking in some instances.
Jay Select Board member Gary McGrain says the vote makes sense. Families in Jay and Wilton know their officers, and the officers know their towns.
They know the community. They know where the dangers are, if you will, for the coverage that we're looking for.
Right now, Jay and Wilton are each down one officer.
We don't have, extra personnel just standing on standby.
Filling those vacancies is not easy.
And there's just not enough new police officers coming through to be able to keep fully staffed for very long.
The Jay Town manager says too often officers leave Jay and Wilton for higher paying jobs.
The reason for this, even being discussed was the challenges that both departments have been facing with manpower.
She and the chief say if police shortages continue in Maine, it's only a matter of time before towns have no choice but to regionalize the police.
I think regionalization is the way that especially communities are going to adopt to try to handle some of those staffing issues.
And that was Brad Rogers reporting. Meanwhile, a popular marina in Bucksport has been saved by the community. Sam Miller has that story.
Through the efforts from a newly formed yacht club and the local community, the Bucksport Marina has been saved and is open for the season. The town council recently finalized a municipal budget which keeps the marina operational, even while cutting seasonal waterfront positions. The yacht club's hands-on efforts included putting the floats into the water in the spring, painting the dock entryway, and driving traffic and revenue through memberships. Harbor Master Michael Ormsby says he's optimistic about what future steps will look like.
In the future, I hope that they get together with other yacht clubs and exchange travels. That way we'll get more transient vessels coming into town. Right now, the biggest yacht club I have coming here every year is Portsmouth Yacht Club. They usually bring about 14 boats for a weekend. So it all brings money to town.
The marina at the downtown waterfront has been owned by the town for nearly a decade. It overlooks the historic Fort Knox and Penobscot Narrows Bridge. Community and Economic Director Richard Rotella says the work of the yacht club in the community highlights how important the marina is to the town.
It's another way to connect with the public, whether or not they're residents who also reside here on their boats, or people from upriver, Bangor, Hamden area who are looking at a place. They all bring with them that opportunity to visit our businesses and provide a boost to our businesses during the summer and fall season.
Ormsby and Rotella say they expect a busy summer, with boaters set to arrive from across the state. In Bucksport, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in other news this morning, Municipal Waste Hub announced Thursday that Municipal Waste Solutions' advanced waste processing facility in Hamden is exceeding expectations during its initial ramp-up phase. The facility was shut down in 2020, but it restarted operation on April 30th. They say since then, the facility has steadily increased its runtime and processing capacity. A statement says as of June 10th, the facility is operating at approximately 90% efficiency, achieving just over 6 hours of continuous runtime per shift, while surpassing projected recovery rates for metals, cardboard, and more. It says the facility is on track to have all 115 Waste Hub member communities fully integrated come July.
Boy,
that's some good news.
Good news. They've been working towards that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, the time now is 8:17. After the break, severe weather in the Midwest and Northeast is leaving widespread damage. We'll have more on that ahead.
Plus, the city of Bangor is expanding some transportation options while becoming more pedestrian friendly. We'll explain coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
On the road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from the Whoopie Pie Festival in Dover-Foxcroft, is brought to you by Berg Activewear, offering a great selection of custom screen-printed t-shirts and resort wear. Visit our website at bergactivewear.com. McCusick Petroleum. See our website at McCusickPetroleum.com to learn more about our service agreements and heating options. Rowell's Garage has been serving customers since 1946. They have a nice selection of quality used vehicles and offer service on any vehicle.
Maine may be a small state, but we face big challenges, and Senator Susan Collins delivers solutions. When our veterans were left out in the cold, Susan Collins secured $3.6 million to help end veteran homelessness. And Collins co-sponsored the bill to protect military spouses' survivor benefits and provide rural veterans access to VA facilities. With her dedication, Susan Collins secures victories time and again for our veterans. Tell Senator Susan Collins to keep championing solutions for Maine's veterans.
Think you're good at trivia? Arrange these holidays, these historic firsts, these animals. By the way,
I have no idea.
Congratulations! You have built the perfect line! I'm Deborah Norville, and this is The Perfect Line.
Onion rings before, in between onion rings and pizza.
Definitely after. Oh, this is what happy looks like.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Well, Bangor took another step toward becoming a more eco and pedestrian-friendly community.
As our Alex Schley tells us, city officials say the effort is part of a broader plan to expand transportation options while reducing emissions.
Tuesday, Bangor Public Works began installing nearly 50 new bike racks at locations across the city. The project is being funded through the state's Community Resilience Partnership program.
Pay for energy audits for city buildings, which we're working through right now, and then also installing bike racks basically all over the city, mainly downtown at the Cross Center, 5 different parks, and then we're sending bike racks to basically all of the schools.
Bangor Planning Officer Coulette says the project is part of an ongoing effort to make the city more sustainable while encouraging alternative forms of transportation.
When you ride a bike, instead of driving a car, you're going to have much fewer emissions. Besides, the effects on climate change, it also contributes less to air pollution.
Coulette says the benefits extend beyond the environment.
We're really trying to provide, enable people to use alternative modes of transportation. Because besides the climate aspect of it, some people have to do that. It's getting harder and harder to afford to drive a car.
In addition to nearly the 50 bike racks being installed across the city, officials are also planning a secure bike storage area at the Pickering Square parking garage.
We'll be app enabled, so you have to, it'll be a very small fee, like $1 a day. You just pay on the app and then you can go in and lock up your bike, so a little more secure.
Coulette says the city hopes to have all the bike racks installed in the coming weeks. However, it could be until fall before residents are able to use the new bike cage. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Certainly good news in Bangor.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, now let's get a full look at our forecast with meteorologist Evan Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. There's some fog out there this morning, especially near Bar Harbor in the Washington County, down to about a half mile this morning. Other spots down to about a mile or so as well. Other spots, again, not as bad. Other areas, again, not seeing much fog this morning. Again, we have some advisories posted right along with that fog is at. Dense fog advisory dropping this morning. Heat advisory up further down toward the south and west. That will drop at around 8 p.m. or so. Wave heights, as we do check those out, we have no advisories up along the coast for that. Buoys reporting 3 feet. Contours showing a little bit more surf, again, along the coast, but not enough to prompt any advisories. 4 to 8 feet being noted further out towards sea. And of course, the water temperature is slowly moderating in the upper 50s to lower 60s at this time. But of course, that water temperature still rather cold compared to the air temperatures on land at this time. Meanwhile, we've had a few rain showers developing on land this morning. We are going to watch for a few rain showers and a rumble of thunder today. The showers and thunderstorms will pick up in frequency and somewhat in intensity overnight, but this will all get out of here as we head towards tomorrow. As we finally get this area low pressure through, you can see some other activity as you head towards parts of the Midwest and also in parts of the Ohio Valley. But futurecast moving forward today, a few showers and a rumble of thunder. You can notice the intensity and the coverage picking up later on this evening with a couple rounds of showers and storms. As we head towards your Saturday, some more fog possible during the morning period. We'll hold on to some clouds as well. We finally get all this out of here. Another little boundary passing through. That'll push more warm air into the region. Then everything finally starts to clear out of here. A little bit of activity off towards the west. That will not give us any issues. We'll quick with the rainfall, though. Again, this is the last of this. Some decent rainfall still on the way before this all wraps up. So here we go. Mostly cloudy. A few thunderstorms today. Lower 80s for the high and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some higher gusts not out of the question. By tonight, we have low 60s, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Areas of dense fog with that southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, mid-80s for the high, and that northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Sunday Flag Day under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the mid-80s, and then showers and thunderstorms return for your Monday with highs in the upper 70s, and upper 70s again for your Tuesday under a partly cloudy sky.
At Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Darling's Kia, we've got something for everyone. Shop our full lineup of new all-wheel drive, gas, EV, hybrid, or plug-in hybrid Kias. Plus, enjoy affordable lease programs and more incredible savings on award-winning Kias. And at Darling's Kia, your new vehicle is covered by our 10-year or 100,000-mile warranty. The best in the business. The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. Shop Darling's Kia. You'll do better at Darling's.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
For the perfect floral arrangement, look no further than Luigi & Fredericks in Bangor. Our expert florists beautifully arrange flowers for any celebration or occasion. Trust Luigi & Fredericks for bouquets that brighten anyone's day.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
It's mowing season. And Bad Boy Mowers has the best lineup in the game. Built to win with more power, advanced engineering, and performance that never quits. Whether you're playing on this field or this field. So this mowing season, raise your game and join the team. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
President Feta cheese. So fresh. So creamy. No wonder it's the #1 feta in America. If it's excellent, it's President.
Cancer affects everyone, but there is hope at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center's Champion the Cure Challenge, where every dollar raised helps patients in our own backyard. Make a difference. Walk, run, or cycle August 15th in Brewer. Visit ctcchallenge.org.
After tensions escalated in the Middle East this week, there could be a breakthrough. President Trump announced that the war is over, but Iranian leaders don't have the same understanding. ABC's Karen Waugh is in Washington with more.
They've taken a pounding like very few people could take, and they want to make the deal a lot more than I do.
This morning, there are questions whether a peace deal is near. President Trump called off an attack on Iran just hours after he threatened to hit them very hard and seize Karg Island, the heart of the country's oil industry. Instead, the president claims a deal with Iran is just days away, an agreement that would open the Strait of Hormuz with nuclear weapons to be discussed in the coming days.
And I think ultimately great for Iran because they'll be able to build up their country and their country. I really believe it's a regime change because I find these people to be much more rational than the people that are no longer with us.
But Iran's foreign ministry pushed back, saying Iran has not reached a final conclusion. President Trump still appeared triumphant, claiming the war is over at several tele-rallies Thursday.
I don't know if you heard, but we ended the war with Iran today.
While the deal hangs in limbo, President Trump says the naval blockade against Iran will remain in full force. He adds there could be a signing ceremony as soon as this weekend. Karen Waugh, ABC News, Washington.
Well, now to those severe spring storms leaving behind widespread damage, and the threat is not over. Summer-like heat fueling the system as it moves east, and behind it, many are left without power and in some cases without their home at all. ABC Sophie Flay has more.
Overnight, from the Midwest to the Northeast, powerful storms impacting more than 90 million Americans as a multi-day severe weather outbreak sweeps across the country. Over 250,000 customers without power in Illinois after multiple tornadoes touched down across the state. This twister carving a path of destruction through the city of Streator.
There goes that house.
Powerful winds tearing apart these homes, sending debris flying. One man getting trapped under the wreckage. A photographer jumped in to help before he was lifted out by first responders. At Chicago's O'Hare Airport, flights brought to a standstill after a ground stop was issued. While at Midway, air traffic controllers forced to evacuate.
There's a tornado warning for the airport. It's supposed to be here in 10 minutes or so. We're evacuating the tower.
Nationwide, more than 1,500 flights canceled and thousands more delayed. In Wisconsin, fallen trees and utility poles littering the roads. And in Iowa, torrential rain swamping communities, with some areas seeing more than 3 inches in a single day. Forecasters say the combination of high heat and humidity is helping fuel these storms. Feels like temperatures could top 100 degrees today along parts of the East Coast.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Now to powerful explosions flattening at least 2 homes in Pennsylvania. The blast all caught on camera. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
It's the moment explosions shattered the quiet summer morning in this rural northeastern Pennsylvania town.
We had multiple calls on it. You have 3 entrapped and 2 houses on fire now.
These blasts in Clinton Township leveling at least 2 homes, sending a fireball into the air. Neighbors felt the shockwave hundreds of feet away.
And all of a sudden we heard this explosion. It was crazy. The whole house shook. I thought our house blew up. I'm not kidding. Like, it was this loud rumble, stuff fell off the wall.
Investigators believe leaking gas from a propane tank ignited, causing 2 other propane tanks to explode. Troopers say an 84-year-old woman was inside the home's kitchen when the blast happened. She tried to get to her 63-year-old son upstairs, but couldn't due to the extensive damage. He climbed out a window to get to safety. One neighbor carried a victim from the home. In total, 3 people were injured.
The jets of the propane kicking fire against the wall of the house, but completely engulfed the house really fast. When that happened, the second house caught on fire, and then there was a second explosion.
Debris found hundreds of feet away as at least 7 homes were damaged. The chimney of this home, all that remains.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Boy, wow. Meanwhile, President Trump signs a proclamation regarding commercial fishing on Thursday. The proclamation restores commercial fishing to parts of 3 Pacific Marine National Monuments, including the Mariana Trench Islands Unit and Rose Atoll. The president says the move will boost the American fishing industry and lower seafood prices. Trump also says lifting the current ban in place that prohibits commercial fishing isn't necessary, as many fish species tend to migrate and are already protected under federal laws. In April of 2025, a similar proclamation was signed to restore commercial fishing in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument.
Concerns over the impacts of data centers here on Earth, on our land and water, could mean many wind up orbiting around the planet instead. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at SpaceX's proposed plans for the near future.
With SpaceX going public on Friday, the funds generated could help propel CEO Elon Musk's goal of launching up to 1 million data center satellites into the final frontier.
What we've seen from the SpaceX IPO, proposed IPO, basically they're viewing this as one of the largest total addressable markets ever to have existed, which is essentially a space-based economy.
SpaceX sees a future where large supercomputers orbit the Earth, which could be used to help operate and train artificial intelligence software.
Every time you use an AI tool, every time you store your digital pictures, every time you make a phone call, every time, I mean, all of these things require data centers.
But with many modern data centers here on the ground taking up a lot of space and resources, shipping these facilities off into space could help reduce their impact on land and energy consumption.
The sun always shines in space, so you can get power. You're not using usable space on here on Earth.
Data centers also require a lot of water to constantly keep high-functioning technology cool. And while the freezing temperatures of space may seem helpful, some experts say it's still a very complex process.
I think that's kind of a yes and no. Certainly, the background of space is very cold, 3 Kelvin. But then you have to have very, very large thermal radiators to be able to offload the amount of heat that's necessary.
SpaceX demonstrations of these capabilities is expected around late 2027. Ted Linder, Fox News.
We're living in a modern world.
We really are. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, Dirigo Reads and Governor's Restaurant are partnering on a project for children.
We'll tell you where you can get some free books tomorrow. Coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At CNR Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the CNR promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with CNR Carpet Cleaning.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Friday, June 12th, 2026, and this is also World Day Against Child Labor.
The International Labor Organization says child labor deprives children of their childhood, their dignity, and their mental development. Nearly 138 million children are engaged in child labor globally, with many of them performing hazardous work. And here in the U.S., there's been a surge in federal violations, and at least 13 states have introduced bills to weaken protections. This is a day to learn about the issue and support ethical businesses that advocate for child rights.
I think that's something everybody can get behind.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
All right, time for history. It was on this day in 1939. The Baseball Hall of Fame was dedicated in Cooperstown, New York. In 1942, Anne Frank, a German-born Jewish girl living in Amsterdam, received a diary for her 13th birthday. That was less than a month before she and her family went into hiding from the Nazis. The diary would later provide a first-hand account of the Holocaust and serves as a continued symbol of hope and a fight against intolerance in our world. And in 1967 on this date, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down state laws that prohibited interracial marriages, ruling that such laws violate the 14th Amendment.
And in 1978, David Berkowitz was sentenced to 25 life sentences for the Son of Sam killings in New York City. In 1981, the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark opened in U.S. movie theaters. And in 1987, President Ronald Reagan famously challenged the Soviet leader to tear down the Berlin Wall. And lastly, in 2016, a terrifying scene as a gunman opened fire at a Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. Omar Mateen killed 49 people and wounded 53 in what was then the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Mateen had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State before being killed during a shootout with the police.
That one was truly terrifying.
Really sad.
All right, for birthdays today, they include country singer Chris Young. He is 41 today. Actor Dave Franco is 41. And chart-topping rapper Don Toliver, my favorite rapper.
Is he? I think I just taught you about him today.
I didn't know about him until this morning. He is 32, though.
Yeah.
And now I know about Don Toliver.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most popular artists out right now, I would say.
Yeah, I'll have to look him up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Hey, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. On this Friday, we have a dense fog advisory that will be expiring this morning. We also have a heat advisory in the southwestern parts of the state. It will begin rather warm in those areas until later on this evening. Meanwhile, as we do push forward, there's where that fog is taking place. Definitely making visibility rather tough this morning, down to around half a mile, and even rather low in parts of Washington County as well. Other areas seeing a little bit of fog too, but overall not looking as bad. Meanwhile, as we do push forward this morning, you can see a little bit of rain shower action showing up on a radar and satellite. We are going to watch for a few showers and a rumble of thunder coming up throughout the daytime period today, becoming a little more widespread overnight tonight, and then we'll start to see things back off later on. So futurecast moving forward, a few showers and thunderstorms today, becoming more widespread later on this evening. Notice we'll start to see things back off as we head towards your Saturday. Notice the wind, not looking too bad. We'll have some gusts up to 20 miles per hour today. And later on tonight, we'll start to see the winds back off, except for the northwestern parts of the state. Now, your hourly forecast as we do push forward, we'll have clouds, opportunities for showers and thunderstorms as temperatures reach for the 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
Thank Devin. Well, a partnership is trying to put books in the hands of kids to celebrate the end of the school year. Dirigo Reads and Governor's Restaurants are working together on that project. From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. this coming Saturday, tomorrow morning, Dirigo Reads will be at all Governor's Restaurant locations to hand out free books for children ages 4 through 7 while supplies last. Governors will also be donating 10% of all proceeds from the breakfast orders that morning to the Dirigo Reads. Jason Clay is the owner of Governor's Restaurant and Bakery. He says he's seen the excitement when the new books come into the classroom with his own son.
What a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Go get yourself some French toast or some eggs
get a
and
nice
bacon. And
family breakfast and take a book home with you.
Yeah.
Well, still to come here this morning at Jack Webb with sports.
Don't go away.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Hi, Butch Robichaud from J&J Auto Salvage. Yep, been here 40 years, retiring this year. Turning the reins over to Anthony and the boys. Hope to serve you for another 40 years. The next time you're thinking about saving money on your car, give us a call. We got fenders, doors, motors, transmissions, you name it, whatever it is, we have it. We're down on the Brewer Lake Road. Everything we sell carries a 90-day warranty. And don't forget, best attitude in the business.
On the road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from the Whoopie Pie Festival in Dover Foxcroft, is brought to you by Rowell's Garage. Has been serving customers since 1946. They have a nice selection of quality used vehicles and offer service on any vehicle. Rose Bike Shop is Orono's premier full-service bike shop. Sales and service for all riders. Howard Insurance with 3 locations, Dover, Dexter, and Newport. Visit our website at howardins.com.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Tonight, the Stars and Stripes kick off their World Cup dream. It all begins with a 3-hour pregame special on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals was played on Thursday night with the series tied 2 games apiece. Pick it up in the first period, and the Golden Knights strike first on the road. Eichel to Dorofeev, and it's 1-0 Knights. But the Canes would answer. Jordan Staal deflects it in for his 6th goal of the series. This one's tied in the second now. Carolina on the power play. Snechnikov tucks one 5-hole to take a 2-1 lead. The building erupts still in the second now. He's been quiet this series, but he lights the lamp here. Sebastian Aho makes it 3-1 Hurricanes. Then in the third, it's Snechnikov again as the Canes take a 4-1 lead. They win 4-2 and take a 3-2 series lead in their Game 5 win. Let's go to playoff baseball now. We've got number 5 Old Town making the short drive to Herman to take on the number 4 seeded Hawks in the Class B North quarterfinals. It was 90 degrees, a scorcher in Herman on Thursday. This one starts right in the first inning. Hawks already up 1-0. They extend that lead when Mason Kinney smacks this one. Sam Hopkins runs in to make it 2-0. Old Town closes out the top of the inning with a nice field and throw to first base for the out. But then Kinney returns the favor. 3 quick strikeouts in Herman. Back up to bat after 2 out. Julian Duddy makes a wonderful play, stopping the hit with his foot. He throws to first to end the frame, but the third inning where the Hawks took over. Tommy Meserve hits this one high into the air. Tough ball, and Connor McLean gets home, then Kinney up to bat again. This time he hits it in the outfield. Hopkins and Meserve run it in, and the Hawks advance with a 6-0 win. over to a picturesque night at Mansfield Stadium where the number 3 Bangor Rams hosted number 6 Mount Blue. We pick it up in the third. Bangor up 3, and their lefty Matthew Turcotte was dealing. He got 2 punch-outs in a row to start the inning. Then to end the inning, he catches the runner stealing. We've got ourselves a rundown. Bangor gets out of the inning quickly. Bottom half now, Owen Glanville true. He hits a grounder to second, but it's enough to score. Jacob Harvey, he does a job. The Rams take a 4-0 lead. Next inning, the Cougars have a runner on, but the Rams turn the double play as their infield was showing off all game long. Great play there. The Mount Blue defense, though, was flashing leather themselves. Oliver Cormier goes up and picks the liner out of the air, but the Rams had full control of this one as Turcotte again with the punch-out as the Rams go on to win 5-0. They'll take on number 2 Mount Ararat in the A North semifinals. We go next door to Hamden Academy now, where the 4-seeded Broncos took on the 5-seed Messalonskee Eagles. Broncos on it early. Bottom of the first, Wyatt Allen drives one to the outfield, and Rogan Lord turns the Jets on around third as Hamden Academy opens the scoring shortly after. Drew McKenney is going to ground out to short, but he does a job scoring Lord, and the Broncos put 2 runs up early. Eagles pitcher Finn Minkle would put a stop to the scoring, though, in that inning with a strikeout to end the frame. Now it's going to be Lord showing off his arm. He pops up, and he guns the stealing Eagle at second base. Bottom of the third now, Jacob Kelly finds a gap, and this one is rolling deep. A beautiful piece of hitting is going to bring the runner around from first. He's going to go all the way around. It's going to be Ben Oliver. Ben, get on your horse, kid. He scores, and the Broncos roll to a 10-0 win. They'll take on top-seeded Oxford Hills in the A North semis. Let's take a look at some other playoff scores from around the area on Thursday. Class B baseball quarterfinals, MDI gets the win over Nokomis. Dexter PCHS gets the 5-0 win over Sumner. Bangor Christian Hank 16 on the 7-seed Hodgson. Katahdin just holds off the 11-seed Machias. And in softball, we had some upsets. First, we go chalk number 4 Old Town taking down number 5 Lawrence. And the 7-seed Holton taking down the 2-seed Mattanock Academy. The 6-seed Central with an equally as big upset over the 3-seed Washington Academy. And then number 1 Bucksport just avoiding the upset from number 9 Winslow. Absolute chaos in Class C softball on Thursday, but that's what you love to see this time of year. We'll have plenty more action throughout next week as the playoffs continue on, but for now, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna. From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
President Feta cheese. So fresh. So creamy. No wonder it's the #1 feta in America. If it's excellent, it's President.
Everyone deserves to be connected. Big cities, small towns, everywhere in between. And staying connected shouldn't break the bank. That's why T-Mobile and US Cellular have joined forces. And now that we've combined networks, T-Mobile covers more places than ever before. America's best network just got bigger. Join now and your plan price is guaranteed for 5 years. T-Mobile and US Cellular, better together.
Let's go get this big money.
Jamie Foxx and Corinne are back to give away. Beat Shazam returns July 28th.
That's how you do it.
On Fox.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Craig's microphone just broke. We'll try to fix that during the package, but we'll just go with it for now.
Glue or something.
Yeah. Well, fans across social media are coming home to Alabama, where the skies are so blue, and a certain grocery store manager has been delighting millions. In fact, he's come to be known as America's favorite grocer. Here's ABC's Danny New.
Look out.
He's strolling down the produce aisle.
Here comes the Alabama man being called America's favorite grocer.
If you come to my store, I'm going to treat you with respect. I'm going to treat you, like your family.
Over the past 6 months, Barry Dabbs has been winning over the hearts of millions online as he dances his way across food giant Hueytown. He's the store director and has worked here for 42 years.
How come you've wanted to be there for more than 4 decades?
Hey, I love this place. I mean, this is like my second home.
Most of his videos start with this special theme song as he spins through the aisle.
Good morning, food giant.
Before being announced with the ultimate introduction.
Today on our steam table, we have our famous catfish.
Sometimes he'll tell his followers what's for lunch.
Good morning, America, and good morning to the world. This is what's for supper.
Or what's for supper, and people from all over the planet seem to want to know what Barry is serving up in Alabama. One commenter writing, Barry's been my screensaver for months now.
It's like on a daily basis, just about somebody will come in, they want to have their picture made with me. You know, I had one lady come from England.
But besides how it helps the store, Barry is hoping his newfound fame will also help with his charitable efforts.
What do you do on your off day? You go toy shopping for Garrett's Place.
Every year, Barry raises money and collects toys for Garrett's Place, a local nonprofit serving children in foster care and their families. This year, Barry says he hopes to double these donations for his community.
Our slogan in Hueytown is "Small City, Big Heart." That's what we are here at Food Giant Hueytown. We're a small store with a big heart.
Also, since Barry is in Alabama, I did legally have to ask if he supports Alabama or Auburn football, and he was able to show me his answer. Look, there is the Crimson A of Alabama tattooed on his finger, and there's my mouth wide open. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Well, I think we got that situation figured out.
Thank you for your
over
assistance.
Here.
Yeah. Need some new parts.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. There's some fog out there this morning, especially near Bar Harbor in Washington County, down to about a half mile this morning. Other spots down to about a mile or so as well. Other spots, again, not as bad. Other areas, again, not seeing much fog this morning. Again, we have some advisories posted. Right along with that fog is at dense fog advisory dropping this morning. Heat advisory up farther down toward the south and west. That will drop at around 8 p.m. or so. Wave heights, as we do check those out, we have no advisories up along the coast for that. Buoys reporting 3 feet. Contours showing a little bit more surf, again, along the coast, but not enough to prompt any advisories. 4 to 8 feet being noted farther out towards sea. And of course, the water temperature is slowly moderating in the upper 50s to lower 60s at this time. But of course, that water temperature still rather cold compared to the air temperatures on land at this time. Meanwhile, we've had a few rain showers developing on land this morning. We are going to watch for a few rain showers and a rumble of thunder today. The showers and thunderstorms will pick up in frequency and somewhat in intensity overnight, but this will all get out of here as we head towards tomorrow. As we finally get this area low pressure through, you can see some other activity as you head towards parts of the Midwest and also in parts of the Ohio Valley. But futurecast moving forward today, a few showers and a rumble of thunder. You can notice the intensity and the coverage picking up later on this evening with a couple rounds of showers and storms. As we head towards your Saturday, some more fog possible during the morning period. We'll hold on to some clouds as well. We finally get all this out of here. Another little boundary passing through. That'll push more warm air into the region. Then everything finally starts to clear out of here. A little bit of activity off towards the west. west. That will not give us any issues. We'll quick with the rainfall, though. Again, this is the last of this. Some decent rainfall still on the way before this all wraps up. So here we go. Mostly cloudy, a few thunderstorms today. Lower 80s for the high, and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some higher gusts not out of the question. By tonight, we have low 60s, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Areas of dense fog with that southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, mid 80s for the high, and that northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Sunday, Flag Day, under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the mid 80s, and then showers and thunderstorms return for your Monday with highs in the upper 70s, and upper 70s again for your Tuesday under a partly cloudy sky.
A few weeks ago, I went down to the basement to see what was happening with the boilers and opened the door, and there was about 12 to 14 inches of water in our basement. I knew who to call right away, and that was Bouchard. They were here within a half hour. They work well with our insurance company. They're very, very efficient, and all I have to do is call them any time of day. They're going to take care of me. Our business is our life, and that's why I don't hesitate to recommend them to other people.
Make your outdoor living space dreams come true with a little help from Granville Stone and Hearth. Granville can help you go from this to this. Outdoor fireplaces, custom outdoor kitchens, gorgeous stone patios, and more. You bring the dreams, we'll supply the materials to make it all real. Create your stunning outdoor oasis with help from the experts at Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Get ready for mowing season, for hauling season, and exploring season. Get ready for tearing it up, cutting it down, and working all around season. Because it's bad boy season, all year long. Bad boy, power, performance, attitude.
Welcome to the game show that nobody wants to win.
Spell guarantee. G-A. Oh, it's G-U.
This is harder than I thought.
What did the itsy bitsy spider climb up? We will push them to their limits academically. What kind of doctor specializes in feet?
Pediatrician.
A senior center in a coastal California city gives seniors a chance to swing back to the past, all thanks to the memory of music. The Friendship Center put on its annual senior prom for those living with dementia. The event featured a DJ and even crowned a senior prom king and queen. The center says the event is designed to give seniors an opportunity to socialize with caregivers, family, and staff, as well as create moments of joy through music with each other. The center staff says that while people with dementia may not remember some of the details of their lives, music, or just the feel of music's rhythms, can be a touch point to recalling times of happiness. The center added that music plays such an important role in things we remember positively.
It's very common with people that have memory loss to still remember music. Music evokes memories. They remember it, they remember the words, they remember the music, they remember dancing, they remember where they were when they were listening to that music, and it's very joyful.
The Friendship Center serves adults living with dementia and provides support for their families and caregivers throughout the Santa Barbara County.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And a lower stakes pursuit in Ohio, deputies in Butler County chasing 8 runaway goats, hoofing it through a neighborhood. Deputies responded after reports of suspicious trespassers in a backyard, and upon arrival, Deputy Barrett and Deputy Smith discovered that the suspects were actually 7 adult goats and 1 juvenile goat that wandered onto the property. The homeowners confirmed that the goats did not belong there, and deputies contacted the rightful owners. Despite extensive negotiations involving snacks and coaxing, the goats were reluctant to leave their newly claimed residence. Deputies successfully assisted in returning 7 of the 8 goats home. However, one particularly stubborn suspect escaped custody, jumped off the roof of an SUV, and fled into a nearby wooded area. The outstanding fugitive is described as a white male goat with brown markings on the right side of his face. He's short, extremely stubborn, and highly mischievous.
We need a mugshot.
Yeah, I know. That would be so funny.
Yeah, but they are stubborn too. They're not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
go. If they don't want to go, they're not going to go.
Didn't want to listen. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this morning. But as always, we thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being there. We hope you have a great weekend. I hope
Yeah,
you have a
you
great
too.
weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday morning.
Today on 25 Words or Less, he appeared in Bad Santa, a movie that had some depressing moments. Of course, if you really want to be depressed, try reading this guy's IMDb page. It's Billy Gardell. And joining Billy are dog-walking friends Karen and Kim. I know I've been hard on her this season, but in my defense, how am I meant to introduce a celebrity who's basically unemployed? It's Melissa Knowles. And joining her are returning champion siblings Kyle and Lacey. And now here's your host, Meredith Vieira.
You know who's going to be unemployed, Jamie? Do you know who? Welcome to 25 Words or Less. Hey, everybody, nice to see you guys.
Good to see you.
I'm Meredith. Thank you. Billy, I feel honored that you're here because you're on tour so much of the time of the year. Like, do you have a favorite place that you like to go?
I am grateful to be here. I love touring around. I think one of my favorite spots I'd like to revisit is Ireland. I was on tour a few years back, sponsored by the Jameson Whiskey Tour, and they took us to Dublin, and